We track macronutrients, optimize sleep cycles, and log daily step counts in a constant fight against physical aging. But while we carefully monitor what goes into our bodies, we routinely ignore a hidden variable sitting directly across the dinner table: relationships that actively accelerate our cellular decay. This map visualizes 2,000 adults from an Indiana University study. Researchers identified hasslers, people in your close circle who constantly drain your energy. 30% of the network lights up with at least one hassler, and 10% have two or more. The data reveals a heavy physiological penalty. We are going to look at how each of these difficult relationships adds about 9 months to your biological age, trace the exact cellular mechanics causing this damage, and explore how setting boundaries functions as an actual medical intervention. Tolerating consistently difficult people has become a measurable biological hazard that demands a clinical response. To understand how a stressful conversation turns into a physical deficit, we have to look past the visible signs of aging and zoom into the chemical level. What you are looking at here is an epigenetic clock. Scientists measure human aging by tracking these specific chemical tags that attach to our DNA over time. When researchers calculated the impact of social friction, the data showed clear acceleration. For every additional hassler in a person's life, the pace of their epigenetic aging increased by 1.5% per year. Extend that acceleration over a single decade, and the math becomes alarming. A single toxic connection cumulatively adds 9 extra months of biological age to your body. Look at how this aging penalty compares to known health hazards on this chart. The biological toll of maintaining a relationship with one hassler equals about 17% of the cellular damage caused by smoking a pack of cigarettes every single day. Interpersonal friction shortens your life by accelerating the molecular machinery of aging. We feel that damage happening in real time when a difficult interaction makes our chest tight and breathing shallow. This diagram illustrates allostatic load, the cumulative cellular wear and tear that happens when repeated interpersonal tension constantly floods the body's HPA axis with cortisol, steadily degrading healthy tissue. As we see the loop becoming closed within a rigid family structure, the damage multiplies. Kin-based hasslers, like parents, siblings, or children, are the strongest predictors of accelerated aging because the biological obligation makes the stress chronic and nearly escapable. That trapped, continuous stress manifests directly in the physical body. Individuals with inescapable negative ties show significant increases in systemic inflammation, elevated body mass indices, and much higher clinical severity for both anxiety and depression. Interestingly, the data shows a stark contrast when it comes to marital conflict. Difficult spouses did not trigger the same accelerated aging, likely because the unique mixture of deep intimacy and daily support in a marriage buffers the body against the negative biological impacts of an argument. It is a dark evolutionary paradox. The family structure, originally designed by evolution as our ultimate protective shield against the elements, becomes a direct conduit for accelerated cellular decay when those relationships turn toxic. These twin prescriptions require us to treat emotional health with the same objective urgency we apply to physical medicine. The first clinical step is a time audit. This means objectively identifying the specific network members who act as hasslers and strictly time-boxing your interactions with them to control your physiological dosage of stress. When an interaction is truly unavoidable, you implement an emotional wall, a psychological technique often called gray rocking. By consciously detaching and offering zero emotional response, you actively prevent the initial cortisol spike and protect your HPA axis from flooding your system. These interventions are about strategically limiting your emotional labor, turning relationship management into the active management of your long-term health span. To review the clinical data, every toxic connection speeds up your epigenetic clock by 9 months. Deep family ties cause the most biological wear due to the inescapable nature of the stress, and strictly enforced boundaries act directly to slow this biological clock down. Protecting your peace of mind is literal preventative medicine,